Dividend investors, bonjour, this is Mikey Roux, founder of Dividend Stocks Rocks and passionate investor. I know I wasn't supposed to make any videos during the holidays, but my wife has this amazing tradition of making those beautiful Christmas socks filled with chocolates and candies and stuff like that, and they're for kids. And therefore I will have one, so I'm very excited. And it gave me the idea of making this video, something funnier, lighter a little bit, about the difference between buying socks and buying stocks. And you'll see that while it's a bit of difference for this video, the nuggets of wisdom in it, the investment lessons that I want to teach you today are quite important, especially as we enter a moment of great uncertainties for 2021. Don't know quite where the COVID-19 will bring us. The market keeps going up, expect lots of volatility, and I hope that this video will help you invest with more conviction. Before I start with my 4 nuggets of wisdom, I want to tell you thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I woke up on December 23rd and we just reached 3,000 subscribers, and this is amazing. So a big shout out, a big thank you for you, investor at home, taking control of your finance, making sure that you know what you're doing and looking forward for more education. Thank you so much for following me. Now, let's get on to the 4 rules that are different between stocks and socks. All right, so rule number 1, don't buy stocks in bundle. You know, I love running. I'm not a typical runner who's going to do marathons, but I just love my morning run. 5K in the morning sets me up. It's amazing. Since I run 4 or 5 times a week, I must buy a lot of socks. So I typically go on Amazon and, I take those bundles like 10 socks, same thing, and then you have like 8 blacks and then like 2 flashy ones just to get noticed on the day that you really want to make a good run. But when it comes down to stocks, you should not do that. I've seen many Canadians buying Royal Bank, TD Bank, Canadian Western Bank, CIBC, BMO, National Bank. Adding more banks to your portfolio is not getting it better. Going for the full bundle in telecom and buying TELUS, Shaw, Rogers Communication, and BCE will not make your portfolio better. Actually, it's a little bit like making a soup. You put a little bit of salt, it's good. You put like 5 kind of different salts, it just gets saltier, but it's not better. So don't buy your stocks in bundle. Prefer to aim for the top 2, top 3 stocks for each sector instead. You're going to have a lot better return over the long haul, because when anything happens to the Canadian banking industry, your whole portfolio is at risk. So focus on the best of the breed instead of buying them in bundle. Now, rule number 2, don't go for the flashy object. I kind of like love socks, and I even buy like those weird one with like avocados on them, and I have bananas, and even my son stole from me my parrots socks, and they're kind of funny, they're kind of cool, but I would not necessarily buy them and wear them on a first date. Mind you, after 25 years of marriage and 3 kids, I can pretty much do whatever I want, and my wife doesn't care, but that's another story. When you invest in stocks, especially in 2020, there was a huge appetite for risk and then shiny objects. We're talking about new IPOs. We're talking about surging tech stocks. We're talking about Tesla. And I'm not saying that Tesla is a good or a bad investment. Honestly, I have not looked into that company because it doesn't pay dividends, so I have no opinion on it. But my point is, if you go after flashy objects just to follow the trend or FOMO, like fear of missing out, chances are you're going to get away from your basic strategy, what works for you and what fits your investment need. My recommendation on that, I know it is tempting and you don't want to miss on the next big bargain, right? So allow yourself 2 to 5%, maybe up to 10% maximum of your portfolio to do speculative play or chase flashy objects, but don't go over that. Personally, I try to keep it around 5%. I allow myself up to 10, but if I'm already at 7 or 8% and I see another great opportunities, I have to sell one to buy this one. If not, I have to forget about it. If you just keep going this route, you will not have a successful portfolio. You will not get returns. You're just going to chase about momentum and trades. And when it fades, it leaves you in the blank and then you're all confused. So stick to your strategy. It's a lot better this way. Third investing rule, don't keep your stocks until they fall apart. I have this very bad habits with my socks that I just put them and then wear them until they tear apart. They are like full of holes. And then at one point I'm just like, yeah, that's probably the problem when you work from home, right? You don't really care what you wear sometimes. And I look at my socks and I'm like, oh my God, that's just not a sock anymore. It's just like bunch of tissues put together. Don't do that with your portfolio. Review your stocks quarterly, each of them after their quarterly earnings. Review them, make sure they fit with your investment thesis, and don't let any holes happen in the companies that you're holding. If they don't fit in your investment strategy anymore, get rid of them right away. Don't wait until they lost 50% of their value and then they cut their dividend, and then everything is going sideways, and then you're set saying, oh my God, I lost $10,000 on that trade. I cannot sell it right now. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to keep it and wait until it gets better. Well, let me tell you something I've learned about my socks. When I keep them and they have holes and all that thing, they're not getting any better after that. Most of the time, when your companies don't match your investment thesis anymore, it's time to let go. And most importantly, rule number 4, the rule that actually gave me the idea about this video is do not buy your stocks like you buy your socks, meaning do not chase cheap stocks just because they're inexpensive and because you feel it's a bargain. Especially this year because we had lots of volatility, I've seen a lot of investors going after companies that drop in value by 50, 60, 80%, and they were just telling me, dude, it's on sale. I have to buy them because they're super cheap. Well, you know what? Buying cheap socks could be a good idea because you don't really care. But buying cheap stocks just because they have now a high yield or because they lost 80% of their value, you know, many times it's because they're not that great companies, and maybe you should not have those in your portfolio in the first place. And a lot of people will tell me, yeah, I bought some energy stock, they're up 50%. How about that, Mike? And I'm like, you know what? Back in April, I even made a small wager with another investor saying, you know, buy ExxonMobil and I'll buy Microsoft in April and we'll see how it goes. So Microsoft was highly overvalued by many back in April, but it was a high quality stock, a strong dividend grower with an amazing dividend triangle. So revenue growth, earning growth, and dividend growth over the past 5-10 years, they were just amazing. Instead, you could buy ExxonMobil going nowhere, losing money, having a hard time paying their dividend, actually selling assets to pay their dividend. That's literally like if you would sell your TV to give your kids their allocation at the end of the month. How does that make sense? It doesn't, right? But it's cheap. So don't fall for the cheap price. Sometimes you will find a company, a great company, selling at a cheap price because the market didn't get it and they overreact, and that's perfect and that's fine. But your first reason to buy a stock should not be the price. It should be the company itself, its business model, and the result of your thorough analysis. And then if you do all of that and you get a cheap stock at the same time, well then, there you go. You made a great deal and you're a smart investor, and congratulations to you. Never invest based on the price. Never invest based on the yield. Those are two Super important point. So now I hope that you will have a happy holiday season. I know it's a little bit weird. We're not doing anything. We're staying home, and I don't know how it's going to turn out with 3 kids for 2 weeks at home doing nothing, not being able to go anywhere, but we'll see how it goes. It will be a great time to play board games, have some fun, and then I don't know, watch Star Wars in pajamas. That's probably what's going to happen. So I wish you health and wealth for the new year. I'll be back soon, so make sure that you give me a like, a thumbs up, that you subscribe to this channel, and I am preparing a very long series of the best stocks per each sector that will roll in early 2021. So until the next video, stay invested.